Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Devil May Cry, Dante Must Die difficulty video walkthrough. This is mission 16, and this is Nightmare of Darkness. So now that we've killed Griffin, finally, after the 3 encounters, even though I only did 2 of them, we're now going to be making our way back to the... I can't quite remember the name of the castle, but the place that we began in, because now that we've got a couple more items than we had before, we can make our progress all the way back to those areas that we first traversed, and we're now going to be able to open up doorways and manipulate things that we couldn't do before. So when you're outside here, immediately you can hear the music and it means bad shit is happening, and that is a Death Scythe, I believe his name is. And you don't have to kill him if you don't want to. I do enjoy fighting these guys, even though it's completely unnecessary. But coming down on your sword in Devil Trigger is one of the most powerful things you can do to this guy, so he shouldn't last too long as well, garnered that you're being a little bit more accurate than I am with him, because I can't quite seem to clean him up, but I think that scream signals his demise. And if you haven't noticed, the blue lights on the floor in this arena are pointing you to the direction you should go in, because a game tester obviously said it's not clear enough where we're supposed to go at this moment in time, so if you could just point us in the right direction, we might be a little bit better off. But this is all places that you've been before, that you're going to be traversing again, and we're going to be moving back into the room where we fought Phantom for the very first time. The Key to Ardor, I think it's called, and in there's going to be another fight, but this time it's going to be with something new. And Phantom is probably one of the most discussed bosses on this game, purely because of how complicated he is. And I don't think he's a very hard boss until you introduce the 3rd iteration, but he's got depth that people will probably never even express or even understand. There's a whole bunch of guides, there's a whole bunch of, just pages and pages of things that'll tell you all about the different facets of Nightmare and how to fight him, but I haven't read any of it because I don't have the time for that kind of shit. I'm not that interested, even though there's a part of me that wishes I was. Right here, a couple of plasmas will attack us. This is not the first time you've fought the plasmas, so just grenade roll, as I have been doing all through the game, and they'll die really quickly. But the main thing you need to know about this boss coming up is that he has 3 cores. One in his face, I believe, one above him, and one on his rear. And each of these cores, the only way you can deal damage to him, when he opens up, he'll reveal a core, and that's when you deal damage. The trick to it is, though, if you damage the cores too much by doing too powerful of moves against them, you'll change the colour of the core, which has adverse effects. And I'm not going to go into the full details of it all, I'm just going to give you the simplified version because I don't know it myself, so I'll probably just misquote it. But the core goes between green, blue and red. And the only real objective you want in these fights is to make sure you do not turn the core red before the final fight. If you can keep it green or blue, then you are golden for pretty much all of the Nightmare fights. If you make it red, it increases his defense, it makes him more damaging, it does a whole bunch of real nasty stuff. That noise right there is a shadow doing its critical hit, but because I was miles away, it couldn't do much to me. So I thought you could skip this fight, you can't, you've got to kill him. So I put the ebony and ivory on to make it nice and simple. And to keep to keep Nightmare's core from turning red, there are specific things you want to try and do. There is a list of moves that you don't generally want to hit him with, like anything that's quite powerful, like the Inferno, or I think even the Stinger might count, is something that will easily break his core. And the safest way to get around this is to literally just use the charged punches of the Ifrit. And it's by no means going to be the fastest fight you'll ever see against Nightmare, but it's a safe one, and it'll make sure that you do not aggro the core, and that is the important part. Because if that core goes red before you fight, the 2nd version, it's just going to make it such more of a ball ache of a fight, because it changes everything. And aside from that, it's just learning on how to fight the boss. For instance, I used to attack his rear core because it was the only one that I thought was safe, but it isn't really that safe because you get hit by crystals, there's all sorts of nonsense, and I just got ate then by a dying shadow, which I thought was an insta-kill. I don't know if they've toned that down in a patch or something, but it didn't do that much damage. But this is the room where we're going to be taking him on. And as I was saying with the cores, I would not recommend attacking the back core because it damages you unnecessarily. What I will recommend is staying behind his side, staying by his side, sorry, or in front of him, because it'll predict what he does. The one you're looking for, which is easiest, is the laser from his mouth, which opens up his top core. I don't think he has 3 cores, actually. I might be completely misfucking this. He might only have 2, but we'll soon find out, because this is Nightmare. So he starts off as a pile of sludge, and you have to hit these walls, icon, kanji things, until they glow, and then he'll take form. And this is the enemy that you can kill. But he has to show his cores for you to do any damage to them. So there's his back core, which I'm playing with a little bit. As soon as the barrage is over, I come in and I do an Inferno on his back core, which is going against the advice I've been giving you guys, but maybe this is not the best run through of Phantom. I do know my Phantom 2 is much cleaner. But anyhow, when you get caught by the net of goo, like I just did, it will teleport you into this Phantom realm. And you'll have to take down a bunch of Sargosas, which are the skulls, and then you'll have to kill a boss, a weakened version of a boss you've already beat. So this time, it's Phantom. And do be warned, these bosses are just like the bosses you fought, so if you don't fight them well, they'll kill you. And it kind of sucks, but the luxury of this is, if you want to take massive damage off Nightmare, really quickly, come inside his body like this. Even though that's a ridiculously bad phrase, but here is the boss anyhow. When we kill this boss, it will do massive damage to Nightmare. So standard techniques apply. Try and hit the critical with the downwards on the sword. There you go. If you can hit it a few times consecutively, you'll kill him really quickly, but when I was playing this, I wasn't that great with the critical, and unfortunately, you're going to see that. I don't mean to go into air raid there because it is a death sentence at times. That is the perfect one. You'll notice it did like a massive chunk of damage. It's because I hit 2 hitboxes when I came down, and that is the perfect way to hurt Phantom, but getting it to happen every time is a skill that I do not yet possess. There we go, that was a good one. And then I come in with the air raid. Did not mean to do that, but it's all good. Taking a few sloppy shots because I'm not evading the fireballs, I'm just going for the quick kill. And unfortunately, like I say, it's not the easiest thing to do unless you're really good at it. But once this guy's dead, you'll be teleported back into the arena, and watch the life that this takes off. If you're playing on easy, this is going to take off nearly half his life. I'm putting the grenade launcher on if you're wondering, because you can shoot at his body when he's armoured. It doesn't do any damage, but it builds your Devil Trigger really quickly. And more Devil Trigger is more power on your punches when you do get down to business. But look at that damage. That is easily the most damage you can deliver to this boss. It's really crazy. But hit the sign, trigger his body to turn back up. You'll notice I'm staying on the side of him. When you're at the side of him, he'll jerk really quickly. Oh no, I'm staying behind him. So I've not yet figured out my favourite way of fighting Nightmare yet, sorry. So that's why I'm doing this. But this is the best way to damage him without shattering the core. Just doing the charged punches in Devil Trigger. Did you see that just then? When he if you're at the side of Nightmare, he'll do a quick turn towards you and he'll try and hit you with a spike. It does massive damage if it touches you, but if you know the timing to it, you can actually knock it back. And the easiest way to knock it back and disable the attack is with Ifrit. Because you'll notice, if you buy the move where you jump, it turns it into an attack. All you have to do is time a jump, and it will knock the spike back, it will skip his attacking animation, and it will enable you to beat his core up. There it is, do you see the spike? That's the spike. Very dangerous, very long-reaching, but if you time the jump, it will go back into his body, and then you can shit-stomp him a lot. I'm staying at the back of him, and you'll notice I'm getting hit because of it. You don't want to do what I'm doing now. It does work, it's just not smart, and right there, I've broken the core. It's turned green. Which means it's still not in, the bad zone, but it's broke, so I need to be very careful and not do any more Infernos against it. And another way of making sure you preserve the cores is if you alternate between attacking the rear one and attacking the top one. You'll notice just then, The sludge hurt me because I've already been inside him, so all it does now is base damage. But you can punch those circles, you can hit them with any attack. You might be wondering why I'm jumping. The reason I jump is because the lock-on in this game is fucking terrible, and the amount of times I've gone to punch that statue to turn him back to an actual physical body, and I've gone to punch him or punch somewhere else, and I've got injured because of it or died, is insurmountable. But there is the spike, there is the jump to knock it back in, and this might be the end of the fight. I should do kick 13 and finish him off that way, but no, got to break him out one more time. So those lasers don't seem to do too much damage, but if you're not careful they will strip your life very quickly. I risk taking damage to kill him because I know it's the end. I'm not going for any fancy ranks or anything. But that is Phantom. That is Nightmare, sorry. I do apologise if I've been calling him Phantom. My brain is all jacked up. And all you have to do now is continue on the level as you normally would now you've killed the boss. And the best way to get across this area is to just fly when you use Alistair. It's so much easier. There is actually a secret mission if you come back from this without dropping, but it's a one-time thing which I have to keep activating if you fuck it up, and I've already got it, so I'm not going to be doing it, so I do apologise for anybody who wanted that. But that's the end of the video, guys. I hope it helps, and you take care now.